Thompson spoke of. And we do monitor and we do watch it. Like he said, if we were to have people, I would expect some sort of security or something with so many units being around in such a general area of location. Nothing in that area has been submitted or agreed to. I feel that we should be felt protected in our own area. A gentleman approached me at my front door one day introducing these plans and showing them to me, and my first question was to him, but have they been approved? Because always under the understanding from Roger, it was a proposal, and that they had not been approved. And I feel sorry for Elite, because they fought something they weren't aware of. We were told by nobody, or we were told by many people that we could not build there. Never mind putting tiny shacks all over the place. I have spent 30 years of my life watching not only my children, but now my grandchildren play many a ball games in that small lot. And when losing a son, it definitely, it's your kitchen window. So I kind of try to do the math today of 375 days, or however many days are in a year, and times that by 30 years, and then times that by probably 100 times of looking out those windows. It comes up to more than over 100,000 times of watching your children play on that, and then have a fence, because I will insist on it, to border me from these people that will now be 3 separate people with 3 separate kinds of music, 3 separate families, 3 separate dogs, 3 separate bonfires. And that's just beside me. I just don't find how this, in any way, shape, or form, should be fair for our community or for me as a resident. I also think that allowing this opens a can of worms. If you let them do it, would you deny me to have a C1? Can I then do that? And then I'll put up, say, 5 little tiny units. And then my house next to me, I'll zone that too. Or we stop me from zoning. And then make it so that I can't do it, but they can. Let's see where this goes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Cameron Tunnix, 53 South Linwood Beach Road. You've heard the majority of the same things that I would contest to that my parents have. My biggest worries too is the lack of parking. That one drives me kind of up a wall. We have a 26-foot tri-tune with a 2500 HD truck to pull it. You're talking about 40 feet in length or so. How do you park 3 cabins worth of people with boats that have something like that in that area? Just, they don't add up in my mind. But to me, the more disheartening thing, I've attended 3 of these meetings in the last like 2 months. I'm 30 years old. I don't think there's anyone as young as me that comes to these. And all I've heard is about all the bad things the township does. And that blows my mind. You grow up in a small area, you hope for the best. Instead, you kind of start to see the opposite of it. Now again, that's my point of view. Your points of view are from a different angle. Privilege is invisible to those who have it. You'll have a good one.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Charlie Thompson, CEO of XLC. My properties don't actually have address yet, but my personal residence is Saginaw County, 7780 Mulberry Drive. We purchased the properties last July, set forth the plan that Roger started. Yes, we met with Rogers and purchased from him, with the understanding that that was already approved. So be it, it wasn't as far as the planning commission goes. But we led on the journey anyways. We continued with the same plan. Worked through probably a couple different meetings with the planning commission, and also came to the county originally to talk about what we had. It was converted to C1 property. At the time, the clerk had thought that the plans were all finished and approved. So we started on the journey to get to this point where we're at right now. I can tell you that we're still going to be stewards of the community. We're not here to disrupt anything. We felt that there was a need with the amount of transient folks that come in and use the community, use the marina. There is no place to stay other than just a few houses. So we figured it was a good plan. Wanted to put forth something that we could all benefit from. Those that come to visit, those that are here. So we decided that we would start with these tiny cabins. We try not to refer to them as shacks, but you know, we've endeavored a few issues as far as our intentions, and the it's not that our intentions are here to cause any harm. I did meet with the neighbors, met the Pennicks when we first got there. Had no idea, upon purchase that they had lived on the property next to their house, used it as their own for many years. Tried not to create any waves with them. Met with both of them, obviously, made a relationship. Tried to come across some common ground, but at this point there's a little bit of conflict. We're not trying to create conflict or bring any issues to town. We want to provide a service that benefits all. That's all we're here for. We do prefer to do the cabins, but if we have to, the Planning Commission has already said that we can have dwelling, so the backup plan for us would be to put duplexes on the site. I don't think that would be as nice of a plan as what we have put forth, so we're hoping to continue on with the cabins and provide a nice service to the community. Certainly be stewards of those neighbors and not try to cause any anguish to the township.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Cap Gadget, 236 South Huron. I didn't plan to talk tonight, wasn't going to. But I would like to know where you said you had the authority to stop the trustee from saying a prayer. I would like to know where that authority comes from.
This isn't a question and answer period, so it's comment, public comment. What we're in right now. So thank you. Yes, sir.
So my name is Mark Bonanzak. I own property at 65 South Linwood Beach, which is a rental property. My residence is in Bay City. I personally, I've been a business owner forever in one shape or form. I've owned probably 4 or 5 different businesses. I'm all about businesses coming into the area because our areas need business. Our local Linwood is not going to survive without businesses. They're not going to survive without fishermen coming to Linwood. And I think the biggest issue we have is, well, at least my problem is I have no problem with anyone coming into our township doing whatever they want to do. I have 0 issues with it. I'm all about business. All I ask is everyone follows the same rules as everyone else. No rules should be changed. Just do what you got to do and follow the rules. I feel sorry for you guys for buying something that didn't turn out the way you wanted, but I think that 99.9% of the people that have ever dealt with that gentleman had the same issue that you guys did. And that's why I didn't buy the property before you guys, because I already knew what was going on. So, but I don't care what anyone does. I welcome business coming. It's not gonna, nothing's gonna hurt me at all. I just want you to follow the same rules as everyone else, with the ordinances and everything else. Follow them. That's all I ask.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I will.
Yes, please.
Justin Evil, 1890 River Road. Just to throw some facts out there, the law is that all you have to do is tack on the property. I applaud not only Calcallan Township, but a lot of the local townships for also personally serving. Because if you just tack a notice on a property, the wind can blow it down, the rain can blow it down. Even if you have proof that you tacked, somebody might miss it. So I applaud, and I would encourage you to continue to have at least one person on the property be personally served. As far as Mr. Letourneau, he testified in open court of his issue. When a trustee who is not here tonight said he heard that he had a health issue, I confirmed that, what his testimony was. And he was also referred to the Bay Vets Foundation and Keith Markstrom for some assistance, and that's why it was more than 30 days. So HIPAA is very specific as to who's covered by that, but when somebody said, is this true, since it was said at open court, all I did is confirm what his own testimony was.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Taylor Road, Linwood, Michigan.
Alright. Okay, John, you're gonna give me your time?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things, Justin, that I would be concerned about would be mail fraud with all of the stuff that, this equals some frauds and swindles when you're talking about putting liens on people's property that don't know. She has not been notified of any of the back taxes, and she was in the past. It means adjustments have been made to her tax rolls. We can prove that through the Register of Deeds. Also, and these are through the Department of Justice, elder abuse, emotional abuse. I mean, this goes for anybody 60 or older is an elder. Anybody attempting or conspiring to commit mail fraud. Now, this lady has not gotten any of these notices. How can you put a lien on somebody's taxes who does not know? Who does not know?
This
That's
isn't a
wrong.
question and answer.
Well, hey,
This is not a question
He's the
and
one who, he's the one who answered.
Well, but it was
Did
his
he
time.
did he use his legal address for residence, or did you use your legal law firm address?
He used his legal address. You may continue to speak, but he's not gonna answer. This is not a question and answer
Well,
period.
what I'm saying
And you
is,
know that.
oh, well, you seem to be answering. So anyways, taking advantage of the elderly and undereducated is not, if you think that's okay, Justin, you are the problem with the township, and you need to go. And anybody, Melissa, if you think it's okay not giving this lady notices, you need to go. I mean, and then James Resler, if he can't read or write, you think it's okay to beat up on somebody like that? That's a special education person, Justin. You went to school with people like that, didn't you? Or did you just blow those people off like they didn't exist either? These are human beings. These are people that need aid. They need help. And I don't think it's right that you guys are going to put liens on their properties without knowing. I mean, when I met Mr. Letourneau, I found out he was a veteran, and I found out from Fred Schmidt how hard he was working, and Fred told me, he goes, he has been making so much progress there. On 2 different occasions, Fred told me that. So this is all about you and Sammy Boy. This is you two. I mean, this is wrong. It's morally wrong. It's ethically wrong. And if you think it's okay, you're a scumbag. But most lawyers are. And so is this supervisor. He fits right in the scumbag.
Thank you.
Oh, maybe douchebag too.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Melissa Class, 1371 East Beaver Road. Mrs. Guru, I am the Calcallan Township Treasurer, and whatever delinquent tax notice you received would have come from the Bay County Treasurer. So if you ever have any questions about your taxes, you're more than welcome to call me, and I will answer any questions you have. I don't know where he's getting his information from, but it's not true. So, I mean, you can call me anytime, and I'll answer any questions you have. I'd be more than happy.
And I don't live at that residence. James Resler lives there.
Okay.
And I live on River and in Florida, and I got one a long time ago that was delinquent, and so then I called Jimmy and he took care of it. Well, this has just been just this last couple of years, and I have not heard anything. And then one of my friends stopped and said, "You know, Jimmy's got a thing on his to move the light and his yard." I said, "I didn't even know that. So why would nobody even tell me?" And my name's on the deed. And I've heard things before.
Well, any delinquent notice you get, I don't send out delinquent notices. So
I
once
don't
they
get
become
anything.
delinquent,
I
they
have
come from
not
the Bay
gotten
County
anything.
Treasurer. So any questions you have,
A
you can
blight
call
thing,
them or
I
call
never got
myself.
anything on blight.
So where's all this information coming from?
Yeah, where does it come from?
Well,
Who
like I
gets
said,
the
if
blight
it's a
information? Is this
delinquent
Jimmy?
tax notice, it comes from the county.
What about the blight?
Do you guys go around the township and look at everybody's
This
yard?
is not a question and answer
Well,
period.
can we switch it to a question and answer?
No.
When do we get the opportunity for a question and answer?
You don't.
When are you gonna
Why don't we
answer
get to have a voice?
Yeah.
And I'd
You
also
do,
like to
that's
know
what
why we're on
public-
it, when
public-
my father's property was taxed
Public
with anything.
input is,
That's my it is public input.
yes, and you had your 3 minutes, so.
Right, but I still have about a minute and a half left on the second one, that was mine, so I'd like to use that.
No.
What do you mean, no? I'm entitled to 3 minutes. Everyone else can speak, but I don't get my full chance to speak? Unless I'm you, or what?
So you wanna speak again?
I would like to, add a continuation, yes.
Then come up to the mic and you can
Thank you.
continue.
So I just have a couple of questions that I would like to address.
We're not
I understand that,
questions.
I understand that, but I'm gonna just make my point here. You spoke of a tagging, at the properties. That was never done, and if it was, I'd like information, I would like you to provide me with the who, the when, the where, because it was never done. Mr. Letourneau was never notified of this situation at hand since the last court proceeding. His health conditions, he has a, power of attorney for a reason. That power of attorney was not notified. No one was notified. Do we target the elderly in this community? Is that like a general thing, unless we have the right name? I mean, this has been going on for decades, since his father before him. His father was attacked for the same reasons. And if you look at Mara Drive, go ahead and take a drive yourself. Down the road, the neighboring house has 5 cars that are not plated. The neighbor right next door, another 5 cars. How many are on Mr. Letourneau's property that are not plated? I would like you to do a count. You're going to be sadly mistaken when there's only 2. And the 2 that are there are both being repaired currently. But again, that's irrelevant to your cause. Why? Did you have a bid on the property? Are you trying to buy it cheap? Because you're the only one who seems to have a personal vendetta against him. Is this personal? I mean, I'm just curious, is it? I mean, their family there, we pray on week in this community. That's excellent. Is that really the reputation that Cullholland wants? There are services available to help these people. Have any of you taken the time to provide, not walk up and knock on their door? Say, hey, we noticed this. Can we help you in some way? Because that's what a real community would be. Stopping Mr. Resler there, he can't fend for himself. Mr. Letourneau, he can't fend for himself anymore either. And no one bothered to even knock on the door and say, is there some way we can help you? Can we provide some type of service to find you the help that you need? It's a great community, one I definitely want to live in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Continue from another people in the area from the Harborview condominiums. They gave me a letter to read.
Sure.
They didn't give me a letter. What they gave me was their highlights that they've already sent here. I just want to make the rest of this community aware of such things. But like us, they have issues too, of questions of things, which is first, we're concerned about the impact of multiple dwellings per property and lot could have a sewage system in the area problem. Our systems are aged, and we have incurred significant expense in the past 24 months and are worried what a significant increase in users could do to those systems. I've expressed this to Mr. Stazak and Mr. Thompson. They will gladly collaborate with them, but we would need their participant in the area if they approve this common sewage system. Second, noise and nuisance must be a focus of residents of the new property. The Linwood Beach Marina Campground has done an extraordinary job of enforcing quiet hours, and we would hope that Linwood Elite would have a similar vigilance and regulations. Pets, snowmobiles, vehicles and noises, all concerns, especially snowmobiles. They're really great when they start up at 6:30 in the morning. Third, trespassing and security. While our community has been very safe historically, we worry about liability and that could be incurred by increase of transient residents on our property. We would simply ask that the Tiny Rentals has a strongly worded and, more important, strongly enforced stance of trespassing, dumpster use, so on and so forth. Fourth, parking and the number of vehicles and recreational vehicles that may bring to our area must be thought out also. Thank you.
All right, did you get who that was from?
No, Michelle
That
Hernandez
is from-
wrote, read a letter from Harborview.
Yeah, they had submitted this letter to you. I spoke with him directly the other day. He presented me with this letter, and he said I could speak from it, so I was given permission. Thank
I just
you.
wanted to make sure she got
I'm
who it was
sure.
from.
I'm sorry, could you say who he was, or?
Yes, that would be the Board of Directors, Dave Stockmeyer, President.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Anybody else? Hearing none, then we'll move on. The new business. The first thing under new business is, we have, a retirement pension type fund, and the resolution that's there at Burnham and Flower / John Hancock speaks of elected officials. So when one of our elected officials here a month ago retired or so, and Sherry was appointed to put her on this retirement, we need to do a resolution, which is a copy here that Berman Fowler sent to us, to put on and change it from elected officials to township board members. Any questions? I'll make a motion then. Okay, go
Could I
ahead.
make a comment?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that it is explicitly stated that it's the township board, that we're not opening ourselves up, because I know a lot of people refer to the planning commission as the board as well, so I want to make sure that that's explicit,
Right, no,
that it's
this is
actually just talking about
The
this.
5
this
township board members.
just to be clear.
So I'll make a motion then that we approve the resolution to change it from elected officials to township board members.
Second.
We'll do a roll call vote on that.
DeShano,
Yes.
Class,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Davison.
Yes. The other thing, the Board of Appeals needs another member. And John Knight I've spoken to him, and he'd like to be on the Board of Appeals. He's a retired attorney, he lives on Linwood Beach. I guess I don't know his address, but it's,
1053.
what is it?
I think it's 1053.
1053?
Oh, 953.
953 maybe, yeah, I thought his number was 900 something.
953.
And he would like to be on the Board of Appeals, and I would make a motion to appoint him to the Board of Appeals.
Second.
We'll do a roll call vote on that one too, please.
Class,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Davison,
Yes.
DeShano.
Yes.
And then the requote for the 2 properties on Letters and Mara Drive. We sent a requote out for Nighthawk and S&S Services. And then obviously Mr. Eddy has told you that he has also bid on the properties. So, and it's still sealed, just so he understands. He did email, which I think we all got, which we did, some new cover sheets that don't have, and this is Mr. Eddy on his bid, that don't have the prices, but apparently some of the property numbers was incorrect on his bids. So we'll open these bids here. We'll do Mara Drive first. Well, I guess I don't know which one's a Mara Drive. Now, this one has Mara Drive on it. I guess I'll have to open the other 2 to get the Mara Drives out. Good envelope. So this bid is Mara Drive from S&S Services. And this bid is $10,000, and it's clean up all brush and trees, branches, clean up all old junk toys and other things similar, remove all trees,